in the tech space, we have to have proper, appropriate representation so that we know and recognize that we can thrive in any industry.
These are our children, really, who have been on social media longer than most of us. They grew up swiping. You can put a phone in front of a toddler and they can turn it on and find their apps and sit quietly and play. These are sophisticated users. Adults go to young people to figure out TikTok, not the other way around.
Investing in tech is very risky. Kevin Durant can afford to do that because he signed a $270 million contract. You need to understand that just because LeBron's doing it or just because Kevin Durant's doing it doesn't mean you're there to do it. They're risking a certain part of their portfolio. If your goal here is to protect your money, investing in tech sounds sexy, but maybe that's not for you yet.
You've got some incredibly talented, engaged players and entertainers that are out here that are doing it the right way. Whether it's the NBA, whether it's the NFL, whether you're on the stage doing what you've got to do, you have that business entity that you are now representing, being educated, being able to break things down, have the right people around you that you vetted, that you trust.
That's the issue with the narrative. This is like only the big guys who are on TV on Saturdays are really going to be able to sell their stuff.
The diverse portfolio of individuals that are coming into the enterprise and we're engaging, their backgrounds are wonderful, and people of color, minorities, those, as we say, that find themselves on the margins of society, it's a wonderful thing. I think, again, we still have work to do to disrupt that social stereotype that's associated with certain minorities and groups.
Venus and Serena, they were trying to sell them all season tickets to the Miami Dolphins. They're like, actually want to buy equity.
What voices are missing in the conversation when we're revitalizing these communities? People of color. So if we're going to look at where you're going to play, let's look at a very smart long-term venture that allows you to build what you're most passionate about.
Where to invest, how to invest. Oftentimes, bias gets in the way of our decision making.
I didn't really care about what color he was. I didn't care about that.
We went from 51% of the NFL being African American to now it's 72%, and it's increasing.
There is currently a company that entire premise is swiping the facial recognition and selling whatever images of us are online so that it can be aggregated into a facial recognition machine and then sold. That's real time in the United States. Through facial recognition, individuals are now able to be deemed whether they are good citizens or not. What's concerning is when we were working with people of color, the machines have been shown to be an error.
What worked for me was small investors. Small investors with a small return, rather than going for dumping the big money and getting a big return.
Make sure that people are speaking in ways that you understand, and if they don't, then stop and break it down.
Let athletes, people know that the investment that you might put yourself into, it might not work.
We need to critically then reevaluate, again, the value added by the student athletes. What are they bringing back to the institution monetarily? And then how can we set up a system that we already have in place similar to that of a PhD student?
A lot of athletes don't know when they first come into the league that every time I step off the airplane in that city, the tax bell wins.
Yeah. It speaks for itself. Real estate. Real estate. I mean, like it's something tangible you can touch, feel.
Collegiate athletics, saying that we're not going to allow you to monetize at that level, and certainly using privacy as the reason to not do it just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Being able to educate yourself, understanding the nuance, surrounding yourself with the right team.
And once you get a team that you're comfortable with and that you can trust, then things start flowing.
Let me make the decision. Everything is not going to be a win, but the game plan is to win more than you lose.